Okay. Let me set. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. It's Lady Victoria with Victoria School of Etiquette. Lighting is really bad this evening. Um, I apologize for this dark screen, but anyway, here I am on today. It's What About Wednesday? What About Wednesday? Wednesday, as one of my sisters calls it. And so I wanted to come on and share my thoughts on this evening. So, welcome to the evening edition, right? Of What About Wednesdays? I am Lady Victoria, your etiquette educator and your certified worthy life coach, broadcasting to you live from the great windy city of Chicago. Chi-Town is what we like to call it because we are the best in the Midwest, and I'm so happy to have you be a part of our platform on this evening. Like I said, it's Wednesday, you all. It's still Wednesday. It's late, and but man, it's been so busy on my side of the world where I am. Things have just been really, really busy. Work has been busy. It's just been a little bit crazy, but hence is the world, right? And the situation that we are in on today and what we are dealing with. But anyway, I needed to come on and share. Popping snaps are kind of loose, but anyway, I wanted to share on What About Wednesday. My title on this evening is what the pandemic has taught me. This is a lane that I really hate to go down, but it's so prevalent in our lives on today. Everything that we're dealing with where the pandemic is concerned, the stay-at-home orders, things are changing not just week to week, but day by day. Things are changing, and sometimes what you hear in the morning is so different than what you might hear in the afternoon or in the evening. That's how quickly things are changing and things are just kind of mutating. Um, and not just the virus itself, but so many of our situations that we are in because of what we're going through. I don't know. I guess it's just my turn to deal with craziness all day today. Screen keeps flipping off. My lighting is terrible. I apologize for the dark light. It'll be better on the next post. But anywho, good evening, and please like and share. Welcome to the broadcast. Please like and share across your various social media platforms. I'm very appreciative of that. So please do that for me. And for those of you that are on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to access this video later this evening or by tomorrow morning for sure. And those of you that are watching me live, thank you for taking time out of your evening to do so. And those of you that will catch the replay, thank you as well. Please don't be shy about sharing your comments and concerns, your questions, and even perhaps your answers in the comment section below, and I will address them as soon as I can, hopefully while I'm live. Sometimes I don't see all of them, but definitely, most definitely after the broadcast is over. But so I was beginning to talk about the pandemic and what it has taught me, what I have learned through it. As I have mentioned on one of my other podcasts before, my job is considered essential. And so I am at work every day. I am on shift 5 days a week. And I am perpetually on call, you might say. So anytime a need arises, whether I am on shift or off, I am required to respond. I'm required to respond. I don't work in a hospital, but again, I am an essential service servicing women, and so the job is quite impactful in the lives of the community that we do serve. And so being in one place all the time, I am on stay-at-home orders in my workplace because it's where I predominantly live throughout the week. But if I were at home, like so many of you that are abiding by the stay-at-home order, whatever city or town that you are in, and if you're watching, those of you that are watching, please let me know where you are watching from. What city and state are you watching from? I appreciate that. But so many of us that are on the stay-at-home orders in whatever places we live in, we're all facing the same situation. We're all facing the same situation of having to be at home 24/7. Those of us, those of you, because I don't, but those of you that have young children that would normally be at school or college students that would be away at college, you find that you are now at home with them 24/7. And so it presents a whole different set of challenges that we've not had to abide by before. When our children are young and they are at home, we look forward to the day when they start their first day of school, whether it be pre-K, whether they're going to kindergarten, first grade, whether they're even going to childcare if they're not going to school yet. We look forward to those days. We consider those days and those things to be milestones. We consider them to be a part of our child's life that we have the privilege of being a part of. But whatever stage they are in now, whether it's daycare or whether they are pre-K or whether they are, grammar school, middle school, high school, college, now you find that your children are at home with you 24/7 and you're having to get to know them, you're having to get to learn them, perhaps to learn things about them that perhaps you did not know before, or that you knew but you just didn't have the time, so to speak, to engage them in. You didn't have the time to sit with them and do a puzzle with them, a physical puzzle or a crossword puzzle, or you didn't have time to sit down and hear the entire story about their day and about the goings ons in their lives at this time. But now we do have time. We do have time. And it's not that we did not value time before. I'm sure most of us did. We value time. But now we have so much time and we're wondering what to do with all of the time that we have because you can't take a break and run out to the movies. You can't take a break and run out for pizza in house, or your favorite hot dog or your favorite ice cream place. You can't do it all inside. And some of those places aren't even open. Many of them are not. So, what are we doing with the time that we have? And what is the value that we have assigned to time now in our lives that we have so much of it? What I've come to learn is that time is valuable. And again, it's not that I didn't already know this. I did already know time is valuable. I know that already. But you assign a different value to it when you can't use your time as you would normally like to. And so when you find yourself in that situation, I have found, let me not assign this to you because my title says what it has taught me. And what I have found in this time is that time is more valuable than we thought it was. We would always say before, well, I didn't have time. I'd like to do this, but I don't have time. I want to do this, but I don't have time. Girl, I'd love to participate in that. I just don't have time. Where am I going to find time to do another thing? My plate is already full. Where am I going to find time, to take a vacation? When am I going to be able to do this or to do that? Or all of these things that we have thought about before. But now we find that we have an abundance of time. And how are we assigning that time that we have now? What I have learned and am learning is that I can take the extra time that I have. And as so many people have said, you can write the book that you wanted to write, you can learn a new skill that you wanted to do, you can do research on things that you wanted to do before, but you just didn't have time. But even in doing those things, are we taking it serious enough to make it a part of our lives? I hear so many people say, I hear the people that I live with here at work talk about how they keep waiting for the new normal. And I then ask my response and question to that is, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for the new normal? Honey, we're living the new normal already. This is the new thing already. So it's not something that we should be waiting for. That's one of the things that we have been doing all of our lives. We spend so much of our lives waiting. We're waiting for the new thing to happen. We're waiting for this to begin so that we can do this. We're waiting for this to end so that we can do that. We're waiting for things to change so that then we can make a change. We already need to be the change that we want to see. in our own lives. No one's coming to rescue. Okay, I mean that in a different sense than I mean it in the sense of the white knight showing up and rescuing the damsel in distress. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to be the one. I'm going to have to be the one to save myself. Victoria is only going to get better if Victoria makes a difference. Victoria makes a change in her own life and how she assigns or values the time that she has. So it's only going to be different if I do something different. So while I'm waiting on time, time is passing me by and I am losing a treasure. Every moment that we don't take and make useful and productive in our lives today, we're losing a piece of the treasure that's already in us and that has been assigned to us. It's not if it's in us. It is in us. And it isn't when is it going to happen. It's when are you going to make it happen? It isn't when are things going to change? When are things going to move? When are you going to move? When are you going to step out? The time that we are living in right now is so critical to the development of the rest of our lives, for that of our children, and for that of our children's children. We still have to be an example. We still have to be an example unto them. And we still have to show up fearless every single day. And it is scary. It is scary. If you look back historically, you will see that every 100 years, the earth went through some critical stage that could have wiped out humanity and did wipe out a great portion of humanity. But we recovered every single time that it happened. What did we learn from it? Whatever we learned from it, we then put those new things into place and we learned to live better lives. We learned to be wiser, smarter. We learned how to adapt and how to um, be adept at the things that was required of us in that season, those that were there. In 1720, there was the plague of 1720. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands, people died, but they regrouped. In 1820, there was the cholera outbreak of 1820, which again wiped out a massive amount of people. In 1920, there was the Spanish flu that again was far reaching and wiped out hundreds of thousands of people. More than that, I'll have the stats for you the next time I come on live. Um, and now, today in 2020, we are faced with the coronavirus. And the statement has been made that it seems that history repeats itself every 100 years. Why is that? There's a reason for that. What is it that we're missing? What is it that we are not doing as a people, as a population? What are we not doing as a global nation that this lesson keeps being presented to us again and again so that we might get it, so that we might grab a hold to it, so that we might make a change? Do we know whether or not we will have another opportunity after 2020? We had 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 20. Will the earth last that long? Will humankind evolve enough in the next 100 years to not have another pandemic upon us? So, what I've learned, what the pandemic has taught me, is that we need to do things differently. It's taught Victoria that I need to do things differently because the time that I think I have assigned to me might not be as long as I thought. So the thing that I was going to do with my business on next year or in the next 5 years, do I have that time? Is that time still assigned to me now? Or should I be about doing it now? Should I be perfecting what's already in me now so that when the opportunity presents itself, that I and my enterprise am completely ready to make the moves that I need to make so that I show up in the right places where I am to show up, so that I connect with the people that I'm supposed to connect to, so that I serve my tribe and my tribe serves me because none of us are islands. We're not here to be alone. We're not here to be by ourselves, but we're here to have an influence. We're here to make a mark. We're here to take dominion in the sphere of influence that we have in our lives, whether that's in your marketplace, right? Whether that is in your church arena, whether it is in your family, wherever it is. We are to take dominion and authority in those places, and we keep waiting for something to happen. We keep waiting for the right moment. We keep waiting for the right people. We keep waiting for the right thing because we don't have the money, because we didn't write the business plan, because I don't know where to begin. I just don't know what to do. Do something. Because even when you're doing nothing, you're doing something. Did you get that? I'm going to say it again. Even when you are doing nothing, you are still doing something. So while you're sitting there and while you're waiting, the something that you're doing is wasting time, valuable time. You could be losing out on the next thing that you're supposed to be doing. I found, for me personally, I found that down through the years that I've dragged my purpose out, dragged it out because I didn't know the next thing to do. Some things I didn't know how to do. Hmm. But you know what? When I began to get more serious about it and I prayed and I asked the Lord to show me how to do this or align me with someone that does know how to do it. And He answered my prayer. He's aligned me with a number of people in most recent years, and probably the last 5 to 7 years. He's aligned me with so many people that I never thought I would have had the opportunity to meet. Some of them are, yeah, well known famous. Others of them just seem to be regular, everyday, hardworking people like me. But they know how to do some of the things in life that I don't know how to do that's related to the gift that's already in me. And then again, too, should we be so dependent upon the next human being's opinion about what it is we're doing and how we're doing it? If you believe in God, if you believe in the one true God, you believe in that source. Where do you think the idea came from in the first place? It came from Him. It's the purpose and the passion that He has put within you to carry out here in this earth realm. And so when we're not doing that, we're not honoring what God has given us. We're not being a good steward over that He has given us. So would that we take that He would take the talent from us and give it to someone else that is producing, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's what you're supposed to be doing too, but I don't know what your sphere of influence is. And if you don't know what your sphere of influence is, let me give you a really big hint. It's the one thing, if you don't know what your purpose and your passion is, okay, let me say it like that. If you don't know what your purpose and your passion is in the earth realm, if you're wondering what it is that you're supposed to be doing here on earth, I dare you to stop and think and sit with yourself. Just sit with yourself. Don't say anything. Don't make a prayer or request or petition for anything other than, God, open my eyes to see what you have laid before me, to see what you have placed within me that I am to carry out here in this earth realm. That's all you need to say. That is all you need to say. He will be quick and swift to answer you because He wants you to carry that out. He wants you to birth the vision that He has already placed within you. And so what I've learned is, while sometimes I didn't know what to do and I didn't know how to do it, I've learned to ask for help. That's the other thing that I've learned during this time and during this season. I've learned to ask for help. And I'm not one of those people that are always asking for help. It takes a lot for me to ask because I will try everything that I know to do first before I ask another human being to help. So that's another thing that I have learned during this pandemic. Time, that time is valuable. We don't have as much of it as we thought we did. We don't know when it might run out. But God being God and being faithful, He'll give us ample time to complete the assignment that He's placed within us. So I've learned a lesson about time, and I've learned to ask for help. And I've learned how to die to myself. I've had to learn how to die to myself. And most of us, we go kicking and screaming, trying to learn that one because we don't want to. Because every person thinks that they are right and that the way they are doing it is the best way to do it in their own eyes. That's just how we're geared as human beings. As human beings, the fleshly part of us. But the spirit man within us wants to do it God's way. We want to be pleasing to our Father. And so while we are waiting and while we are wasting and while we are ashamed to ask for the help that is rightly ours, and we don't go oftentimes to men, we should, let me rephrase that, we should not oftentimes go to men to ask for help. Well, we just need to go to the Father to ask for help because He has all of the plans. He has the blueprint for everything that we're doing in life, for parenting, for being a sibling, for being a cousin, a niece, a nephew, whatever it is, a friend. He has the blueprint for every single area of our lives. And the outcome has already been determined for us. We just have to walk it through to manifestation. You think God is really sitting up in heaven saying, "Oh, I wonder what she's going to do next. I wonder what she's going to do next. Oh my God, don't do that." No, He's not. He already knows every mistake that we're going to make. He knows every lie that we're going to tell. He knows every single time we're going to fall off the wagon, how many times. He said, "The righteous man falleth what, 7 times?" But he gets back up again. And then I've learned too that God's math is not our math. That's another that's another broadcast. It's a completely different thing. But I also bring it up to say also because talking about time and how we waste so much of it, how I have wasted so much of it anyway, um, I have learned that people say, well, you can get it back. No, you only get redemption through Christ. You only get redemption of time, of life, of your soul. You only get that through Jesus Christ. Because he said that he would redeem the time for us. Joshua stood on top of what? A mountain or stood on top of a rock and commanded that time be still. And it did. Remember when I said earlier that God has given us power and authority and dominion in the earth realm? Genesis 1 and 28 is where he talks about it. He has given us dominion in the earth realm. So I'm beginning to learn, beginning to take good understanding of the concept of the earth serving us. And we're not supposed to serve it, but the earth is supposed to serve us. The Bible says that God says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything in the earth He created. Everything in the earth belongs to Him. And we, as His children, He is our shepherd, our Father, our Creator, our guide, right? He has entrusted the earth to us. We're still tending to the earth just as Adam was in the Garden of Eden. It's just that we have some thorns and thistles now to go along with ours, where He did not have that. But it was only until sin entered in. It was only when sin entered in that the thorns and the thistles showed up because they were not there before. It was not necessary. I oftentimes think of the thorns and thistles on flowers, that they're there to make us wake up. That they're there to make us wake up. They are there to remind us of where we are and what we are doing and whether we're slowly missing the mark day by day because you could prune flowers every day. Not the same one, of course. They all come in batches and you do them in batches, but it's forever growing, forever growing. And so, since that is the case, then we have to be the ones to tend to it. So, we have the physical garden of this world, and then, the natural garden of this world. And then we have the garden of our heart where everything grows. And how are we nurturing our heart? How are we tending to that garden? Are we doing self pruning or are we allowing ourselves to be pruned by our Father who knows all things and will give us all things if we but ask in faith, believing nothing? His promise was already given to us. We have already received his promise as believers. And so, since the battle has already been fought and won, the battle was conquered on Golgotha Hill on the cross of Calvary. All of that work has been done for us on our behalf. So, how do we pay it out? How do we pay it out? How do we move it forward every single time, every day? Every day. It's a requirement for us as Christians. We can't just hold on to it and hoard it, thinking, that it's ours, ours, ours. I earned it. I got it on my own. No, sir, ma'am, you did not get it on your own. God saw fit to bless you with it. It is His gift that He puts in us. And then He makes a requirement of us to produce in that area that He has given us. And so that's another thing that I've learned during this pandemic, that I truly am called to be a producer. You say, of what, Lady Victoria? I am called to be a producer of the gift that He has given me, which is Victoria School of Etiquette, which is VL Enterprises, my parent company. And so anything that comes under that banner, I am to know it without a doubt. I, you know, without a doubt. I'm called to produce in that area, as are you. I've learned and I'm learning that I am a producer. And the fruit that I bring forth from the gift that has been planted within me is proof and evidence, right? That I am doing what God has called me to do, as it is for you, as it is for you. So I don't want my talent taken away from me and given to another because I'm not producing, because I'm not doing, because I am afraid. And the Bible tells us we don't have to be afraid, that I'm worried and concerned about many things. I don't want that syndrome, right? The Martha syndrome. I don't want that on me. Do you? I do not want that on me. There's a time and place to do everything, but God comes first above everything also. That's the way He designed it to be. And as His children, that's how we should want to live our lives every day. I am not perfect. Not by any means. I am not perfect. Not at all. I fail, I fall, I get off the wagon. Sometimes we fall off the wagon. This is starting to be tight around my ear. We fall off the wagon, but what about the times when we deliberately get off the wagon? Because there's sometimes we don't fall off. Sometimes you fall off of a thing. It's typically an accident. You're not trying to fall. You're not trying to trip over your own 2 feet. You know, you're walking, reading your phone while you're walking, and sometimes not paying attention, and so accidents happen. But what about the times when we deliberately get off the wagon? We deliberately choose. We make a conscious choice to choose to sin. We use the gift of free will that God has given us, and we use it to our own detriment. Who are we fooling? We're not fooling God. And if you're truthful and honest, even with yourself, you're not really fooling yourself because we know what we're doing. I know I knew what I was doing when I deliberately got off the wagon. I said, I'm going to go over here and do this. It's not God's will, but I'm going over here and do it anyway. And God being God, just and true and faithful, He just let me go on over there and do it. And that was the end of it. And then I came to myself and I came right on back. And guess what? Jesus was right where I left him. He didn't move. He was right where I left him, waiting for me to return. Some of the lessons I've learned during this pandemic. This is what it has taught me. Time. It's taught me not to be afraid. It's taught me that you either believe what you believe or you don't. And if we say that we believe and that we trust God, then we have to do that. We have to stand on His word, knowing with beyond a shadow of a doubt that His word will not fail. Because God is not a man that He should lie, neither the Son of Man that He should repent. So everything that He said He would do it. And He watches over His word. He sends it out and He watches over His word to make sure that it performs and that it does that He has commanded it to do. His word cannot return, will not return to Him void. That would make Him a liar, and that He is not. I think I've shared about 5 things, the things that I've learned about time, about not being afraid, about not being fearful, about not being afraid to ask for help. And there was another thing I mentioned. I usually don't come to my broadcast with notes, and I did not on tonight as well. But it's just the things that I've learned, and I'm sure I know that there are things that you have learned too. I'm waiting to hear about them in the comments a little bit later. Please share them with me, and we can talk about it again. Because I'll be on again. I know I'll be on this weekend. Oh, and yes, that reminds me. No, let me finish this thought before I go there. I'll be on again this weekend because I want to expand a little bit more on the crises, the lessons that we have every 100 years. History repeats itself every 100 years. So I like to expand and expound a little bit more on the things that have happened in the last 400 years. Ooh, and that's another thing, the number 400. Another broadcast. I'm not going there tonight. I'm going to be wrapping it up in just a few moments. But I want to come back on and share that, and I will. But also this weekend, if you've seen it on my page, and I'll put it up again, that I will be with Brother Ron Jefferson on Saturday. Saturday is the weekend. Woo! I will be there, but I will be on his radio show. Yes, I will be on his radio show. I will be the featured guest for the weekend. Um, on his show, and I am looking forward to that. So I just wanted to bring it up so that you all can see it. I will also share it to this page again and tag some of you in it so that you are aware of it and so that you can join in. It will be 11 o'clock Central Time that you can log in and catch the show, his radio show. Um, this weekend. So I will come on tomorrow and share more information about that on Thursday. I will come on tomorrow and share more information about that because I want you all to tune in. I really thank you for your support. Some of you have been with me for years and you have been supporting. Um, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm just someone said something. Okay, about the show. So yes, Shine the Artist Spotlight is the name of the show. Um, and I will be on May the 9th. That is this Saturday, Mother's Day weekend. So I will be on Saturday at, I'm sorry, I said 11, 12 o'clock Central Time here in the Midwest. But I will post this up so that you all can see the information and please share that also across your social media platforms. So anyway, I know I kind of was just tailgating all over the place these last few minutes, but yes, I have like oh, not even a minute to go. I said I wouldn't be longer than 45, and I'm at 45 right now. So, just in review, please again share with me what you have learned during this pandemic. What has it taught you, and how has it changed you as a person? Are you still waiting for the new normal, or are you accepting of where we are right now as the new normal? Because it's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much what it is. But anyway, ladies and gents, thank you so much for being a part of the evening edition of Victoria's School of Etiquette. What about Wednesdays? What about Wednesday's edition? Thank you for joining me on this evening. So, this is Lady Victoria. Like I said, your etiquette educator and your worthy life coach. Woot, 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 woot. Another thing that I have accomplished that I've been able to cross off my list. Anyway, enjoy your evening. Have a great day on tomorrow. Lady Victoria, signing off until next time. We will chat again soon. Bye for now.